What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Garrett, and today is a special video, guys. It's a new series. It's called Ask Google about like black man ... And today I am asking Google, or I'm not asking, I'm asking Bing today, but I'm asking Google, why do black men have short hair? And the reason why I want to do this, guys, is that I just want to like find out what really goes down and what really happens. And this is like, I did have to re-record the video, so I kind of already know some of the things that are gonna happen, but we will see, guys, what will happen and what people say, and I will give my honest opinion about how I feel about what I read, and I'll let you guys read it along with me. Okay, guys, so yeah, I did check Google and I just found more juicy stuff on Bing today, so we're gonna go ahead and ask Bing. And then I found this article on Quora.com, and Quora is like a forum. It's like a website where people, it's like Yahoo Answers, like where people just ask questions and people answer them in more detailed responses and they give their opinion about it. And yeah, this is the it says there's 11 answers, and the question is, why do black men shave their heads or cut their hair short nowadays? And this is by Anonymous, and it said the two answers in here so far gloss over a fundamental reality we as black men experience on a daily basis, and it is this: usually if the head is bald, it is because the man is losing hair or balding, as they say. Aesthetically, depending on the balding pattern, it is best to lose the hair altogether. As to why it's cut short, okay, it says because there's an unspoken rule created by white supremacy that if there's so much as an inch of your hair, you may not, or you're more likely not going to be taken seriously for job opportunities if being black wasn't a barrier enough. Okay, so with this white supremacy, guys, that says it all. It's really what it comes down to from all that I've been reading. But we're going to go ahead and finish reading this anonymous post. It says a lot of black men cut their hair not because it's easier to manage, although true, but just as if not more expensive than managing black hair. They do it because we're forced to do it against our own consent. Okay, and I kind of agree with this, guys. Like, I know growing up, it was like a habit to go to the barbershop, go get your hair cut, but it was kind of more forced because my dad, he kind of forced me to do it. It wasn't like I wanted to do it, but let's go ahead and finish reading. And it says, of course, we're not physically forced to cut our hair or keep it short as if it was in the physical slave days, but slavery still very much exists on a global scale against blacks emotionally, physiologically, and mentally. Yeah, I agree with what he's saying there. And it says, speaking from my own experience, I was literally not considered for a position at a job at a country club because I had a mohawk, a striped afro going down the middle of my head with the sides cut low. Okay, guys, I'll be honest, I actually had a job. I used to work for Delta, and before I got the job, I had like a high top fade, and I didn't really want to cut it, but I cut it just because I wanted to make sure that I got the job, and got the job because I'm good at interviewing, but I just wanted to make sure I got the job, so I just cut my hair. And I'm not gonna say I regret it now because I had my experience, but I just would not do that again. I would not sacrifice my own heritage, my own way of life just to please somebody else, just to cut my hair. And I'm just not doing that ever again. And it says the only reason I got the job was because I asked about it via email after what I knew was a great interview. Her reason for stalling the hiring process, because of the unusual hairstyle, a hairstyle that just so happens to be very natural, ethnic, and normal in the black community. There was nothing unusual about the style except for that it was black hair on top of my head that was visible. Reluctantly, I cut my hair, not knowing any better that the job itself was racist to get the job. I got the job. 3 months later, a Mexican donned the same mohawk I had. When I said to one of the managers that I was told not to wear the mohawk, the white guy said in his own words, "What? Black men are not allowed to wear mohawks?" Even he was confused. I was told I had to cut it off. He even went so far as to ask me who told me this. I chose to keep it confidential. Little did he know it was a woman close to the management team. I know I'll definitely be upset after that. It says after that I literally went in the bathroom to scream out of anger. Anger for bending to her rule. Anger for forcing my hand to cut my own hand. anger at myself for allowing it to happen. I grew my hair back, got my fro hawk back, and the same woman who told me to cut it said, "Oh, you got your mohawk back," passively complimented me about it. It was business as usual. Personally, I love having hair. I'm growing it out to get mini dreads. Think D.L. Hughley. I've never been a fan of cut hair because looking back, the only reason I did it consistently was for job purposes. I never took pleasure in cutting off my natural hair because I feel my hair is essentially who I am as a black man. Yeah, and I know I said it in the past. I said like hair is like very spiritual. I feel like more of myself. I think one of my videos, I think the undercut 5 reasons not getting an undercut video, and yeah, guys, like, so I never been a fan of cutting my hair. Like, even as a kid, like when a kid, I used to hate getting my hair cut, guys. I just did not like it. I wouldn't have my hair, but I guess because I didn't really know what to get, because I didn't really want dreadlocks. I didn't really know what to get. I guess just cut my hair, and I tried to do different styles and stuff, that were kind of like, I guess, not really popular at the time, but now that I know, I'm hoping maybe I can be more inspiration to you guys, like show you guys that you can grow your hair naturally. It didn't have to be in dreadlocks, so. But let me go ahead and finish reading the rest. Oh, and he says, my hair is this antenna that connects to higher spiritual powers. It's soft to the touch and soothing as I run my hands through my roots. It's unique and stands out against men who are pressured or feel pressured to cut their hair short, even when their personal preference is to let it grow. So it comes down to passive-aggressive suggestion to keep it short, because I suspect that white people know the significance of showcasing our natural hair. I really do agree with this. And so it showcases power, strength, unity, and togetherness. So you guys, I wish I knew more about like the 60s or 70s or whenever they had like that little Afro phase where people were like very, like the black community was very like proud of their hair. So I wish I knew more about that. Maybe I need to do a video about that. And it says, having an Afro, dreads, and locks wasn't just a fad as it leads you to believe. It was the beginning of the Black Power movement. It symbolized all things black, hence the present preference for white society to force us to keep it short, or else your job opportunities are limited. So guys, that's kind of sad, like that we have to like people cut their hair just to get a job. Like that's really sad, guys. Like if you think about it, that should not be acceptable. And it says, this is the same reason black men straighten their hair out to look white and conform to European standards. Okay, I mean, I don't know about that, but I think it might have, that definitely like plays a part. And it says, it's not necessarily because they want to, it's because it's just that they do so for better job opportunities. It doesn't help that black men find beauty in straighter hair over ethnic. So there you go. Yeah, so that was the first response, guys. Like I really do agree with what he said. He said he had a job. He only cut his hair because he wanted to have a job. But now but when he got the job, they didn't care anymore. So, and then he said the other races went in there for a job and said the same hairstyle he had, but it was because he was black that it made a difference. So, yeah, guys, like don't sacrifice your heritage, just to get a job. And I mean, but it's your life, if you want to, if you have to suspend sport, then do what you have to do. But just know what you're doing, okay? Okay, the next response is by Carrie Pittman V. the 5th or the 4th. And it says, why do black men, okay, this is Anna's response. It says, I wouldn't say most, perhaps a great number, but clearly not all. We must understand that there are also the personal factors involved as with why somebody decided to shave their head, many of which probably I cannot know. However, a few things do make a manner to come to mind. These I've noticed through observation and first-hand discussion with others. Many black men and non-blacks will agree that keeping their hair shaved or hair cropped very, very close represents the least amount of maintenance. Okay, I've heard that before. Oddly enough, many times these crop styles include highly intricate designs, alternating lines, numbers, letters, even pictures, and expansive decorative symbology. So most will agree. I think that without all those accoutrements, closely cropped hair is low maintenance fare. Also, short, cropped, and black shave styles neutralize what many black people affectionately call, well, not really the kitchen, which is a small area of hair located at the nape or the bottom of the neck. The hair that grows here is difficult or moderately difficult to style. Not many people have this, but many do. Aside that, from this mistake to presume black hair is formally equally across the board in texture and quality, is something that varies greatly depending upon the one individual's genetic makeup. Like it's showing like somebody's like waves and somebody's like looser texture. This is those with appreciable. She said appreciable admixture texture. What? Appreciable mixing. Oh my gosh. Usually, but not always, for this higher quality that can be combed and styled differently. Although there is little difference when either types are closely cropped. It is when the hair begins to grow when one sees the differences. This becomes very most notable. Thus, we can see how some styles or cuts tend to lend to better tightly coiled kinky hair, while others work well with looser straight hair. This is most. Some black men do, some do not for different purposes. Okay, yeah, that comment. I mean, I kind of like understand what he's saying, but he's talking about like the different styles, how like it looks better in different ways. But I mean, I don't know, guys. Let's keep on reading some more. All right, next one is by John Mixon. It says, as an African American male, I can say that only some, not most black males shave their heads or keep their heads closely shaven. I keep my hair closely cut partly because it's easier to maintain, partly because I'm ex-military, and there's a habit mostly because I travel for work and sometimes have to stress my haircuts 30 to 40 between cuts. It's often difficult to locate a good barber. Okay, so he's saying like the military is like one of the reasons why he cuts his hair, and I mean I can understand that, you know. But the military, they shave their heads, you know, keep you like a slave. That's why they shave their head short, because it's easier to control somebody when their head is shaved. But you know, let me keep reading. It says he's a current or ex. These are the following reasons. He's a current or ex-military member or in law enforcement. He doesn't enjoy the frequent grooming that longer, tightly curled hair necessitates. He often doesn't own haircuts, more frequent than you would believe. He is balding, unfortunately with the exception of Samuel L. Jackson, because most black males can't get away with wearing toupees. Also, toupees? I don't even know what that is. That's a shame. I don't even know what that is, guys. Let me look it up. Also, toupees that look natural are expensive for black men. And finally, most feel that they look better completely rather than partially bald. Okay, so that was his reason. He said military. Okay. And this is by some Abijah John. I'm not sure if I pronounced his name. But it says, I strongly believe that the story has more than meets the eye. I suggest that this trend is passed on down from one generation to another. So the question arises, how did this trend come to existence? Following is some historical context related to slavery and black people from Wikipedia. This issue is most particular to women. There was no time for extended hair grooming, as slave masters worked the subjects 12 to 15 hours a day, 7 days a week. Oh my gosh, guys, that's a lot of like, that's very traumatic experience, you guys. We definitely have to pay our respect to our ancestors. But it says the conditions disrupted their practices, and they did not have specialized tools. American slaves sometimes had matted and tangled hair instead of well-maintained, long, thick, and healthy tresses worn by the elite in Africa. So he's saying that, like, you know, that slavery, like, is one of the reasons why people just have their hair short, and saying that long hair was worn by the elite in Africa. So let's keep reading. So a certain whether very underlined but clear that maintained their hair was an expensive affair of time. Overloaded with the suggestion that straight hair was more acceptable than natural, kinky, curly textures, slaves in freedom began exploring solutions for straightening or relaxing their tresses. One very easy way for hair straightening is to cut them short or have them shaved. This would give them enough time for relief and rest from household or farm slavery. So what he's saying now is like that. Thank God. This is like very sad to read. I'm just saying, this is like a lot of emotions for me reading this. But it says like that they shave their hair short because so they can be more like work harder for slavery. So it's kind of sad, guys. But yeah, I'm gonna keep reading. And it says, and the style caught on, and it got flowed from one generation to another. As the time passed on, it got caught on as a natural choice influence how elderly people or respect people in society look like. This effect is quite common in all cultures. In India, where having a healthy mustache was a sign of manlyhood during king's rule. It is just that it still fall in the pride by a lot of people. And yeah, so that was his comment. Okay, so the next comment is by Cameron Williams, and he says he studied the human body for my career. And it says Negro hair, while beautiful, can be very difficult to deal with. I mean, I kind of agree a little bit. I understand that. And it says combing it can be painful and incredibly time consuming. In the 70s, you'll see picks to pick out the hair, but other than that, it's tough to deal with. Also, when it gets long, it can catch and hold debris. Since we only wash our hair once or twice a month, it can stay there a long time. So keeping it short is more hygienic. In many ancient African societies, shaving the head was common to prevent lice infections. Okay, guys, so I'm confused because, like, when did black people get lice? Like, I don't understand. I don't know how true the comment is. You know, people say they study something, but I don't know how true the comment is. But let me keep going. Now you're seeing natural hairstyles like dreadlocks coming back, and they must be meticulously clean. It's not unheard of to get molds and dreadlocks. Black women spend thousands of dollars a year on their hair and stylists and chemicals. They use perm to straighten their hair to make it more manageable, as it can be incredibly painful. This can be incredibly painful, and chemicals versus scalp are very common. So this is why black men tend to keep their hair shaven or keep it short for all sorts of headaches. So I mean, I guess that's one reason why, like, make it easy to maintain, don't have to really do anything to it, you know. But we saw the comment before how you said you're like sacrificing, you know, like we were kind of forced to do it. People would just that mentality passed down from generation to generation. Okay, guys, the next comment is by Minzy. And I kind of skipped this comment. I'm only like gonna focus on the one part there where he says he's talking about Africa, like how the boys and girls, you know, how they had shaved or short hair. You know how it says women had their hair short in Africa because they wanted them to focus on school. And then it's saying, however, in another primary school in the city, they made exceptions as there were also non-black students who had looked a bit strange with bald heads. So they're saying that, like, people look that if they're saying that like non-blacks look strange with bald heads, then like what do we look like with bald heads, you know? The next comment is by Timo, and it says some black men keep their hair short because it's difficult to get past the afro stage in order to have it long enough to put the hair in a ponytail bun so that they can wear it neat, quote unquote, neat for work. When cornrows got popular enough to wear to work, I was able to get past the afro stage. I mean, that's interesting. Like, it's perspective, you know. I mean, I can understand that, like, where people like, oh, my hair is like too afro, like they don't want it. It does take a while for it to get, like, you know, my hair is like been for growing it for like a while, but it does, like, I can see it does take time, you know, to get your hair to a certain length, but neat for work, I mean, like, it just frustrates me, guys, like that, just this neat, quote unquote neat, or whatever your perception of neat is. Like, why does it have to be, like, who is perceived as the, you know, most of the time it's perceived as the white supremacy and stuff, like, but let me keep on going. All right, and this is by Gabe something. Says white men and women generally don't find the natural hair of Africans attractive, and therefore black men will shave their heads in order to improve their chances of sleeping with white women. Like, what the heck, guys, what is this man talking about? It says white women are rather simple-minded when it comes to attraction. If they can't see something, it doesn't exist. Thus, when a black man has no hair, a white woman will fall for some reason to forget that afro exists, only to be surprised and alarmed when their virus should come out with afro hair. What is this guy talking about, guys? Like, okay, so which is 90% of the time due to the jinx African and future being dominant. Like, this guy, I don't understand this guy. Like, I don't agree with, like, interracial dating, so I mean, I don't think you should. I don't agree with that at all. So I don't know what this man is talking about, but I guess it happens because it's on here. All right, this is by Talib Jim. It says the majority of black men do it because they do not like their own hair. They think it looks bad. Okay, guys. So there's another reason right there. They think it looks bad. Like, you might think my hair looks bad, you know, if whatever your perspective is. But I love my hair. And it says that's the truth that they are scared to speak about. For me, growing my hair, I grow my hair curly, and whoever got a problem with it, he sorts himself. I was denied a job in Dubai by a black man from Tanzania just because I had grown my hair curly. The HR, who was also a male Filipino, had approved me, and he was so happy with me. In fact, he hadn't even talked about my hair at all. He told me not to worry, the manager who's going to approve me is African, just like me. After 30 minutes, the manager came, and the first thing he asked me was, why don't you cut your hair? I told him I like to grow my hair curly, and he said, okay, go home and we will give you a call in case we approve you. When he left, the HR told me that there was something wrong, and I told him it's because of my hair, he doesn't like it. The HR was still surprised, and he kept asking me what's wrong with it. Anyway, that's the world we are living in. People aren't proud of their own natural beauty, but thank Allah later on that I got a different job and expected with my own hair. Okay guys, what he's saying is that like people at this job, they just don't, or like when he had an interview, the African guy didn't like his hair, and he said like, oh, your hair, he didn't like his hair, so he said your hair, oh, like I know people like they say, oh, your hair is not, hair is not acceptable, your hair is ugly, your hair isn't presentable for a job, whatever, so they'll just like delete you from the job application process or whatever. So that's what it sounded like, but it was coming from his own people, guys. So like imagine somebody your own race, like you're just hating on yourself. Like that's crazy, guys. That's ridiculous behavior. That definitely needs to stop. Okay, the next comment is by Tommy Thornton. It says, I can speak for everyone, but my reasoning was a lot more straightforward. My hair started thinning in the late 20s, so I cut it shorter. Eventually, I found out it was just easy to maintain it if I cut it bald. I use a blade. Okay, so he's saying that his hair is thinning. So I mean, I don't know much about like hair thinning. You know, maybe I should video on it, but like it's just okay. I mean, I don't know. I've heard of that before too. So you know, let's keep going. Okay, this is by Jovita Hanzanobi. It says I'm African, not black. What the heck? How you not? I'm not African. I'm African, not black, not Negro, not clear. I don't. All these division, guys. Oh my gosh. It says it's easier to manage. Plus, they look great in it too. Okay, so he's saying hair ages man if it's short, but he says plus look great in it. So I mean, you really can't say like black men can't say that they look better with short hair, because a lot of them haven't had the opportunity to grow their hair out longer. So how can you say your hair looks better? You look better short when you don't know your hair. You don't know how your hair is when it's growing longer. Okay, guys. So the next part. This is the next article. This is by themedium.com. This is by Jeremy Winslow, and the title is "Dear Black Men, if you want long hair, have long hair." And this is she's showing his hair. It says, "Embracing the hair I always wanted to." Confronting society's rigid expectation for black men. It says, the clippers jolted to life, buzzing like a swarm of bees, waiting to shred through my short afro. Hey P, it's time to cut them naps, my brother yelled from the bathroom. Crying profusely, I sauntered to the bathroom, staggering reluctant to get my hair cut. I plopped onto the chair and peered through the salty rivulets of tears as a black sheep wool fell from my head. Why do I always have to get my hair cut? I asked my brother. Grandma said, he replied militantly, because you don't know how to take care of your hair. Okay, I know somebody told me that before. My grandma interjected, fully aware of her condescending tone. You just let it grow and do nothing with it. It looks terrible like a bird's nest. Okay, so I don't know about that, guys. Like, this is just making me upset. Like that people think this way, and it's like, your hair is naturally like this. Our hair grows like this naturally, so it's just upsetting me. Okay, it says, but I want long hair, I said to her, unable to clear the tears from my eyes or crack in my voice. You ain't supposed to have long hair, she coolly replied. You're a boy, Jeremy. Boys ain't never had long hair. So this comment, guys, like, it's just boys have to have long hair, girls have to have short, or girls have to have long hair, boys have short hair. I mean, that's just, it's like a human, like, it's just a human thing. Like, it's nothing that says our hair grows natural too, so there's nothing that says men can have long hair too. It says, for years, this was a common refrain from my family and from society. Boys, black boys especially, aren't supposed to have long hair because long hair is for girls. And this is like, I think this is more portrayed in the black community especially, because it's like, I feel it's so much more against us because there's like a lot of like toxic masculinity, you know, in the black community and stuff, and it's just, it's a lot of stuff we got to deal with, and we definitely got to work on. It says, you're a boy, Jeremy. Boys already know how long. Okay, so part of this message is rooted in rigid and damaging assumptions surrounding gender in general, but white supremacist culture also plays a significant role. See, I said this in another video, part. This is with the white majority dictating what is and is not appropriate for blacks to do, say, and wear. As part of the culture, black men are typically categorized as hyper-masculine and overly aggressive, with media depictions focusing on athleticism, criminality, and little else. As a black man, you are to be physically I'm not sure if I pronounced the word, rugged, tall, thuggish, and stoic. Anything outside these strict parameters makes you less black. Because society continues to insist on associating long hair with femininity, this leaves a cruel calculation. The longer the hair, the less acceptability the black man. Wow, he said a mouthful, guys. Even a mouthful. And I agree with him. Years after my brother and grandma first insisted I get my hair cut, I now wear my hair freely, but it took years to get to that point. And the reason is rooted in some ugly truths about white supremacist culture. Genetically, most blacks, men and women alike, have nappy or kinky hair. For the most part, it grows upward instead of downwards. Hey. Because of the woman equal long equation, it's more acceptable and conventional for black women to modify the hair in ways that defy genetics by way of flat perms, flat irons, perms, weaves, and the like. At the same time, there are significant societal pressures wrapped up in this. Under the auspices of white beauty standards, it is considered ugly or unprofessional for a black woman to wear her natural hair. As such, black women, while having more opportunities than black men, typically choose to adopt more white-proof hairstyles, bouncy curls, straight locks, wavy hair, in order to avoid disparaging and hurtful descriptors. Okay, guys, in that part, like, there are a lot of women that have, like, gone through a lot of, like, pain growing up, you know, like, being talked about by other women, guys too, guys. Some of you guys are talking about these your women's hair and, you know, messing up their mentality too. So you're doing it too. In August 2016, the Perception Institute did a study on good hair bias towards hair textures. Okay, the study showed that white women show explicit bias towards black women's hair texture, and white women rate less beautiful, less sexy, less attractive, less professional than smooth hair. If you walk to any beauty supply store, ethnic hair products geared toward non-white hair types are sectioned off, exacerbating the idea that non-white hair is other and should be treated as such by being segregated. As for black men, if they want to grow their hair long, they only have an option of an afro, with any other alteration or modification either to seem as distasteful or looked down upon by the black population and the white majority. Because the white majority has an almost Darwinistic approach to what is and not acceptable in black and popular culture, black men, similar to black women, adhere to the common adage of majority rules. Okay, yeah, so he's saying that, like, basically, if you want to be a black man and grow your hair long, that you can only grow an afro, like, and I guess locks too, but he didn't say that. But yeah, like, it's a lot, guys. A lot. This is a video, a lot. You know, if you're not ready for this, then I don't know what to say, but it's a lot. You know, you got to deal with it. And then it says many expectations, and I'm gonna be like kind of like speaking through this one because it's a long article, and you can always look at it in the description box. It says many expectations surrounding hair and masculinity can be traced back to black culture icons. The disco brought about a style of dress unseen in black culture. The hairstyles for black men remain the same: large, neatly picked out, and very circular afros. The evolution of hip hop. Okay, some hip hop, gangsta rap. Talking about Tupac. Okay, Biggie Smalls, known for the low. So Tupac was known for the shaved head. Biggie Smalls known for the low afro. Todd Anthony Shaw is too short, is known for the Caesar cut. And then it says 80s and 90s, you would prominently see blacks with afros, low cut, straight heads. Okay, then he's talking about the perm became the hairstyle for blacks. The Jerry curl inspired a shift in styles. Talking about Edmund Theodore Silvers, Michael Jackson, Prince, Snoop Dogg, Ice-T, Ice Cube. Yeah, Prince always says Prince mixed his perm hairstyle with an innovative fashion sense that injected a more feminine taste into the pulse of black culture. Okay, and then it says high top fade, very short hair, came late in the popular 80s and 90s with Bobby Brown. Okay, I've had a high top fade. Vanilla Will Smith, Vanilla Ice. Okay. And it says most of these commercials these companies propagated consist of muscular black men grinning at the camera, running their hands through their just washed low cut Sometimes I fervently detested and never coveted, and after years of getting my hair cut every 2 weeks, 3 weeks I went back to my grandma's, back to the fine 13 I was, and I considered what I should do what I had to do to get her hair. She says I have a perm. She probably disappointed in my decision. Okay, so what you're saying in that part was just that, like, the face of black man or the hairstyle has been depicted by the culture. So the culture determined what black men have looked like. Or now he's talking about, you know, Switchfoot's Meant to Live. That song, the lyrics perpetuated my soul, rebirthed me, connected me to emotion I never knew I had, never knew I felt. And then it says, I never could felt I could display because of the pressures put forward by white supremacist culture. Watching this guy break out, their hair whispered the air. He longed for a sense of culture and freedom and from societal pressures. Okay. And it says, I felt comfortable, at the moment I felt comfortable expressing myself in my most natural way. And the first step to ensure the authenticity was to get long hair. Okay, and it says, after filling my sister, she ended up putting relaxer in my hair. Whoa. Yeah, so I think I asked Barrow for one time if I should get like it's not a texturizer, but he said I didn't need one. So I'm thankful that he told me that I shouldn't get one, because that definitely don't get that, guys. He said they burn out for a while, but once the solution was run down, my naps straightened, providing me with luxury locks I was long for. My joy was short lived. Yeah, guys, don't get those perms and stuff. It says, when upkeep my hair became too burdensome, I gave up resigning my hair to where I could barely love myself, let alone love, or grow my hair out, and deliberately ignored it, refusing to brush it, pick it out, or shape it in a way. Though I still wash, condition it, dejected and miserable, I chose to hide my mini afro under beanies, had subliminally set my style and destiny. And then, however, there was another option available to get long hair coveted. And then he's talking about, okay, so the Jamaican-born reggae artist Bob Marley popularized dreadlocks, or something known as locks, in the 70s. And the hairstyle has been around for hundreds of years. And then it says, Dr. Locks in Roswell, Georgia. Dreadlocks can be traced about just about every civilization in history. No matter the race, you will find a connection to having dreadlocks for spiritual purposes. And then he talks about, you know, Samson in the Bible. Dreadlocks have a deep association with the Rastafari movement, but it was Bob Marley who brought the hairstyle to the United States. Okay, he's talking about, you know, Lauryn Hill, Whoopi Goldberg, T-Pain, and he's saying, like, this example helped him to get dreadlocks. He's saying that his senior year of high school, he did embrace some dreadlocks as a way to give me long hair I've always wanted. And then he says, I realized that was look for me. And then it says, I have dreadlocks ever since. They frequently be worn in a bun. And then he says, embracing the hair I've always wanted has forced me to confront our society's rigid gender roles. Because of the length of my hair and my style of dress consisting of button-ups, polos, skinny jeans, and Vans, I'm often confused for a woman and have been taunted for daring to defy gender and heteronormative standards. From blanking to gay to queer and everything in between. It's because I've been harassed incessantly because of my decision for longer hair. Okay, guys, so like your hair, whatever your hair is, like that just whatever you are, your hair doesn't determine your sexuality. So if you're gay, you're straight, whatever you are, it doesn't determine your sexuality, guys. So that's crazy. People think that though. I know people that think that. So it's just crazy people think that. So definitely change their mind on that, guys. It says, but more and more I feel part of something bigger. I push to change the roles that have limited black people for too long. And he's talking about different ways of dressing and stuff and gender roles. And then he says, over time, I've learned not to give about gender roles or the insults. There is no doctor dictating that all black men must keep their hair short. Michael Jackson and Prince and others are newly on the scene, are shining quotes of challenge the status quo, the accept the normal. They have helped pave the way for black men to tap into the feminine side. It's because of them that black men are more willing to wear their hair as they will please. A sentiment I'm happy to embrace. What's that saying again? Oh yeah, long hair don't care. Hey, okay, I like this article. Is good. It's a really good article, guys. Like, I encourage you to read this one if you want to check it out. And the link is in the description. Thank you guys for watching part 1 of why do black men cut the hair bald or cut the hair short. And thank you guys for watching this video, guys. All right, I'll see you. Stay tuned for part 2, guys. Don't miss part 2. You don't want to miss part 2, guys. And yeah, I will see you guys next time. All right, bye.
I never like to admit that I was wrong, and I've been so caught up in my job, didn't see what's going on, but now I know I'm better sleeping on my own. Cause if you like the way you look that much, oh baby, you should go